This is Michael Gerace with Clearview Sewer Cams. It is February 10th, 2020. We are located at 12618 Califa Street, Valley Village, California, 91607. We have hydrojetted the line. We were out here this morning and we ran a camera and we were unable to get past the curb area. It was compacted with tree roots. We hydrojetted the area and we've checked the sewer line while we were running the hydrojetter, and we found that there's a major break at the curb area in the 6-inch vitreous clay. We're going to run our camera back in so we can videotape again and re-inspect the line. From what I could see during hydrojetting, the rest of the 6-inch city lateral looked to be in fair condition. There's some root intrusions in a couple other areas. And this is the front of our house. That's our porch area heading up toward the front door. And this is the front of the house going toward the front gate. Driveway area. And here's the gate to our left. We're at the far left front corner of the house. And this is where our mainline, ABS plastic mainline sewer cleanout is. We're going to go ahead and just zero out our camera, zero out our monitor right now, and we're going to run down into our ABS plastic mainline cleanout. All the ABS plastic sewer piping from the house to the 4 to 6-inch city lateral transition at the property line on this side of the sidewalk area appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. We didn't really have any issues in the ABS plastic. Got some longer lengths of ABS plastic pipe heading out toward the vitreous clay in the curb area. Joints all look to be in fair, maintainable condition. Make our turn, and now we're heading down to our vitreous clay. There's some small remnants of the roots that we cut out. We got the majority out. We didn't want to overdo it and end up breaking the joint apart completely. There's a large hole in the top of the piping where the roots are coming in, and there's a large crack at the bottom. That joint appeared to be in fair condition. This joint had some minor root intrusion and a little bit of separation. Not terrible again. That joint looks to be in pretty fair condition. Now we're heading down to the joint in question. As you can see off to the left, at about the 9 o'clock area, the crack starts. It's that large crack right on the left-hand side. And down at the bottom, there's another little crack at the bottom of the pipe too. It's kind of hard to see because we're going into a drop right here. But you can faintly see the line at the bottom. There's a crack. Yeah, there's a crack right there at about the 9 o'clock area where we're at right now. And as you go in slowly, you can faintly see it going toward the middle of the pipe and going around. But our major issue is at the top of the pipe. We couldn't hydrojet this. That's a major cluster of roots. We got the main bulk of the roots out, but if you hydrojet this any further, more than likely we're going to collapse the joint. You can see where we're at now is at about the 9 o'clock area where we're pulled back to, and that crack is at the face of the pipe and goes in about probably 2 inches and then heads up toward the 12 o'clock area toward this big cluster of roots. So there's a major break right there. And that area is just inside the street. And then we go in further. The next joint has a little bit of an offset on the right hand side at about the maybe 6 o'clock area to about the 1 o'clock area. Not terrible though. Then you go in some more, and that joint appears to be in pretty fair condition. Minor offset here, very minor. Still looks to be in fair condition. Another offset here going from approximately the 8 o'clock area to about the 3 o'clock area. You can see the whole face of the pipe at the top. But again, not terrible. It's not broken. And then the saddle area looks to be in pretty good condition right there. It's fairly flush. It's got a minor offset, but not bad in the turn. Didn't see any breaks, and we drop into the city sewer. So our real issue is right at the curb. You have a very large tree that is in the parkway, and unfortunately, trying to line this area, it will not hold. A liner will be penetrated probably within maybe a year to 3 years maximum. I don't even think it would take 3 years before those roots would penetrate the liner due to the size of the roots. We would suggest replacing the lateral, or at least a section of the lateral. You would have to get into the street to perform this repair. You get into the street to perform the repair, and it gets expensive just doing that. It would be beneficial to replace the entire vitreous clay line to the saddle area and come back to the 4-inch to 6-inch connection would be the best option, so that you do not have similar problems in the future with joints. These trees are very large. There are roots in the area, as you can see, so they're going to end up traveling to other areas and end up breaking other sections of the vitreous clay piping. With a trenchless sewer line, the plastic poly piping is very, very thick, heavy gauged, and it can withstand the roots. The roots will get up against it, and there is so much pressure that it would take to get into the poly line that the roots tend to steer away from the poly line. They're not going to generally bow the poly line. They're looking for water, and the poly line is not going to leak. So we're in the city sewer. Now we're pulling back. That's the saddle area. As I said, there's a very minor offset right there toward the top. Nothing big and not broken. The next joint has an offset right there. Again, that's getting kind of iffy. We're seeing the majority of the pipe up on top, but it's not broken, not cracked at this point. So we're still not in terrible condition there. The next joint has a minor offset. That next joint looked to be in pretty good condition, pretty flush, evenly attached to the next piece of piping. That joint looks to be in pretty fair condition, minor offset. Then we come back again, as I said, to where we have our major root intrusion. And we have the large break off at the 9 o'clock area. We also have a large break right now at about the 7 o'clock area. Kind of hard to see, but that's the crack right off to that area heading toward the middle of the pipe. This area definitely has to be replaced.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again, please?
So we're pulling back now. That joint appears to be in pretty fair condition. Minor root intrusion. Minor root intrusion in that joint as well. Minor root intrusion in this joint, and very minor offset, nothing terrible there. And then we come back to our 4 to 6 inch city lateral transition on the property. The rest of the ABS plastic looks to be in good condition. We've already looked at this 2 or 3 times now. We're just going to continue to pull back to our main line cleanout. All the joints look to be in good condition. Don't see any issue in the ABS plastic. These fittings all look to be good. Joint looks to be in good condition. Now we're pulling back toward our mainline cleanout and pulling up and out of our mainline cleanout. And that will conclude our video sewer reinspection after hydrojetting.